down and speak this morning like really loud. My name is Gary Borch. For those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet, I am honored to serve you as the sheriff here in Lake County. I was appointed as the sheriff in 2006 by Governor Jeb Bush, and then I ran for office in 2008 successfully, and here we are 4 years later. I have, as of July 1st, in the next couple of weeks, I will be celebrating my 32nd year in law enforcement. I started in Osceola County July the 1st of 1980, and have risen through the ranks, actually every rank up to sheriff, from sergeant to lieutenant to captain to major to chief deputy over the years. In 1989, I was blessed to be appointed as a jail administrator here in Lake County by Sheriff George Canuck after he was elected. And then in 2005, I was selected as chief deputy by Sheriff Chris Daniels. And then, as you know, he was tragically killed in late 2006, and that's how I get to the position that I'm at today. I am honored to represent over 700 of the finest men and women in law enforcement. I believe that we have a great agency, a great team in place to serve the citizens of Lake County, with our goal every day to make sure that the quality of life is the quality of life that our citizens enjoy, and to make sure that we maintain that and work hard every day to improve it. I'm honored to serve you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Porter. Our next candidate is Captain Sandy Carpenter. Welcome, Captain Carpenter.
Thank you, and I appreciate y'all showing up today. Sheriff and I have been speaking a little bit all over the county, and you'd be surprised how many places we go to where there's 6 or 7 people that show up. So I appreciate the great turnout we have today and the opportunity to speak to folks who care. Again, my name is Sandy Carpenter. I'm currently a captain with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I've been there for 31 years. I currently serve as a watch command captain. I work from 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning on behalf of Sheriff Demings. And I serve as the Orange County taxpayers by taking care of business. That's what we do. I answer directly to the sheriff from 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And I've got, believe it or not, 5 lieutenants who work for me, but I've got, when I log on to the computer at night, I've got between 300 and 700 employees logged on that computer at any time. So I know how to manage people. I hope that some of y'all have picked up this card as you came in the door. The lady on the front right there is my wife, LaDon. She's usually with me everywhere we go, but she's at Shands Hospital in Gainesville. I hope you can say a prayer for my in-laws, who have been part of my family since I was 16 years old. I met them running the Orlando Rescue Mission when they lived here. Some of you know them, Don and Patricia Moody, and both of them have been hospitalized now and are going through a very, very rough time. So I'm a little bit off my thing today because my wife's not with me. It's a really odd feeling, but she's been serving Orlando's homeless for 33 years. My family has, my mom has, you name it. The guy on the front is my son, Dustin. He just graduated from the University of Florida after obtaining a master's degree at 23 years old. He's a phenomenal kid. He's been traveling the country now, traveling the world, doing mission trips with one of them, even with the Tebow family. Great kid. My daughter looks like a Kardashian. Luckily, she's not. She wasn't raised that way. She's a great kid. And she's worked in the Lake County school system. If you read this and you come back and see us today before you leave, you'll find out that I was nominated one of the top cops in this country. You'll also see that I was a Deputy of the Year twice. I've been through 2 shootings where I had to shoot people. I too have risen up through the ranks, but I've spent 31 years on the streets of Orange County. And I want to bring all the things that I've learned in Orange County here to Lake County, because it's coming at us, and it's coming at us fast. Thanks.
Thank you, Captain Carpenter. We now want to move to 3 questions for our sheriff candidates. Our first question will be for Captain Carpenter. Please comment on Lake County public safety performance measures and trends, and what you would do to make improvements.
What I want to do to make improvements is, I hear a lot of things from the community. I hear things from y'all about how deputies are parked at the gas stations with their cars running, but nobody's in them, and they're inside getting a drink, but y'all can't do that. And actually, the complaint was that they were blocking the gas pumps. It's about customer service. What I want to do is return our agency to you. Currently, everything that we have to look at, if you agree with me that debt is actually a threat to our national security. But debt is also a threat to you in this county, because if I can't provide the services that I need to provide to you as a deputy on the street, we're not truly serving you. You're serving us. When I'm driving around in a Tahoe that costs $40,000 or $50,000, and my undersheriff and my staff members are driving around in cars that cost $40,000 to $50,000, it takes away a deputy from you. And when you need that deputy at your door, the last thing that you want to think about is what kind of car or what kind of vehicles that the sheriff's office drives. You pull into some of the gated communities and you'll see Toyota Priuses that were bought for people who aren't even law enforcement to drive around and patrol subdivisions. That's all a great plan, but my plan to put people out there that want to be involved in the community involves used retired patrol cars. There's no reason in the world to spend money on equipment that we don't need, cars that we don't need, so that when you need to see a deputy, you have a delay in response times or a delay in service. My plan is going to put more deputies on the street. It's going to try to fill those 25 positions that the sheriff has held open, because that should be important to you. If we've held those positions open all this time, that's equal to 25 to 30 employees. If you figure the average made $40,000 a year, that's $1.2 million that should have come back to the county commission. That should be important to you, because it is about your public safety. It's not about serving us. It's not about serving your sheriff. It's about us serving you. And if you elect me as your sheriff, you're going to see me do things in the community that you've never seen done by any Lake County sheriff before. Thanks.
Thank you. Sheriff Waters.
I would tell you, first of all, that I have great deputy sheriffs that do a wonderful job, that care about serving you and responding to your house for service in an appropriate time. You know, some of the things that we have started over the last 5 years, we started a cyber crimes unit to make sure that we're targeting sexual predators on the internet that are trying to come to this county to meet our children. We started a street crimes unit so that we could target high crime areas to where we could focus and shut down these areas. One of the first ones that we started in was in the Four Corners area, which was probably the largest amount of calls that we were getting throughout the county. We sent our street crimes unit and we walked those neighborhoods. We cleaned up those streets. It is still a busy zone because it's a very populated zone, but they don't have the crime issues that they had when we took over. You know, you could talk about Toyota Priuses. I would tell you, our Citizens on Patrol is a great program. The best way for us to make sure that we have safe communities and the quality of life is good here is to get our citizens involved. And that's what we do with Citizens on Patrol. We have them driving throughout our neighborhoods. They're a deterrent. They help out. They do a lot of our attempt to contacts. You know, when you live in Florida, we have a lot of grandparents that move here and their kids live up north, and they call here all the time because mom and dad's not answering the phone. And they ask for us to go out and check on them to make sure that they are okay. And I would say that Citizens on Patrol helps us do that. They stay on the side of the road during accident scenes until the Florida Highway Patrol or until somebody can get there to help them. You know, we do use old patrol cars for Citizens on Patrol. We do have a Toyota Prius. But I will tell you, when gas gets up to about $4 a gallon, that Prius pays for itself about every day. So we're glad that we have it. We're glad that we have the people involved in this county that want to make this a better county. Thank you.
Our next question is to Sheriff Waters. How would you provide required service levels with a decreasing budget?
Well, that's what we're doing. You know, last year we turned in a budget. We cut $3.5 million. The budget that I turned in 2 weeks ago, we cut, I just lost my train of thought, $2.6 million. So the budget that we will go into October 1st of 2012 for next fiscal year is actually less than the budget that we've had in 2006, 2007, which is the budget that I took over. So we have to look at what we do every day, and that is responding to calls for service. We have to make sure that we have the appropriate amount of deputies on the street. We look at our call volume. We look at our response times. And So, you know, we want to make sure that we're putting deputy sheriffs where deputy sheriffs need to be. And if we think that we need to put more on the street, then we will pull from other areas to put them on the street. If we think that we need to put them in a specialized area, honestly, if we've got a cyber crimes issue, or if we've got a drug issue, then we're going to throw manpower at those issues. You know, this is not just it changes every day. We have crime analysts that look at where we've been targeted in Lake County, looks at what we are facing, and that's what we do. Thank you.
Folks, again, the budget directly reflects how we respond to you. And what we've got to do is, I believe in a thing called intelligence-led policing. If you live here in South Lake County, you know that it's coming at us from Polk County side because there's a tough-talking sheriff over there who talks rough and tough about what he's going to do when you come to his jail, what he's going to do if you come to his county and you're a predator. We've got Sheriff Jerry Demings who's put more deputies on the street by cutting his budget and by watching the money that he spends, and that is forcing people up that South Lake County corridor. And we've all seen the uptick in crime. We've all seen the violent crimes, the bank robberies, and things like that that are coming to South Lake County. The only way that I can change that is by putting deputies on the street, by bringing law enforcement together, which is what your sheriff is supposed to do. He's supposed to be a catalyst to bring a community together. That's what I want to do for you. I want to work with all the police chiefs throughout Lake County so we can do intelligence-led policing and we can have bi-weekly meetings so we will know what the trends are and we can look at crime analysis reports and know this is more than likely going to happen in the south end of the county over the next two-week period before we meet again. And this is how we're going to approach it. And if you don't have deputies to put on the street because you're more interested in how we buy cars, the expense of the cars that we have, think about how much those Tahoes spend every time you put $100 in the gas tank because the deputy's got to patrol all day long. I put together programs where deputies live in the places that they serve so they're not crisscrossing the county every day. That was one of the ways that I helped cut 5%, 3% from our budget at the Orange County Sheriff's Office because that was required as me as a manager. I know how to cut the budget. I'm going to try to cut your budget by at least 10%. That's right, 10%. By getting rid of the big vehicles, by getting rid of the things that don't directly serve you. When you come to one of the sheriff's dog and pony shows and you see the trinkets and stuff on the table, you paid for them. I don't need those things unless they can directly reflect somehow to your personal safety. And if you can't pick up that, Senator Hayes talked about it, the screwdriver. I love the screwdriver. You can literally pick up that screwdriver and take out an opponent. So the screwdriver might be a good thing. But all the other little things that are on the table, all they do is cost you taxpayer dollars, and it's not worth your time or money. Thanks.
The next question is for Sandy Carpenter. You both are in public safety positions. What new programs have you initiated or would you initiate, and how would you measure their success in regards to the public safety?
Well, the first thing that I do is sit down and look at what our current response times are when I become your sheriff, and do everything that I can to improve your response times. Y'all pay for service. You pay per person in this county for service. There may not be a time in 5 years that you need to see a Lake County deputy. But I can tell you right now from personal experience, when you want a deputy, you need a well-trained deputy. You need a deputy that knows the laws, knows what he's doing, has been a part of this community, and knows what goes on in this community. And we're losing too many deputies to other counties like Orange, Seminole, and Osceola County because we're not keeping them here. We can't pay them the money at the bottom that they need to be able to feed their families and stay in this county. When I talked about trying to cut that budget by 10%, I'm going to be asking the county commission to actually give back. If I can cut it by 10%, I want them to support the deputies at the bottom. I want them to support the single moms that work at the jail, the corrections officers, the people that work in forensics, that have to go into those bloody homes, walk into places that you and I would never want to walk into, and go home with infectious diseases sometimes that sometimes take their lives. They do jobs that none of us want to do. It's not about me. It's not about what I drive. If I need a new Tahoe, y'all pay me enough money, I'll have to go buy one. We need to start taking care of school teachers, firefighters, and cops in this county and paying them what they deserve because they're truly the people who serve us. Thank you.
You both are in public safety positions. What new programs have you initiated or would you initiate it, and how would you measure their success and failure in regards to public safety?
Okay. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we started the cyber crimes unit. We started we also started a meth team so that we could, if you've seen us, we lead probably the state of Florida in a number of meth labs that are busted in Lake County. I don't know if that's a good stat to have or not, but I would tell you that we don't have more meth labs in some of these bigger cities like Orlando or Fort Lauderdale or Miami. I would just tell you that we have a dedicated team that we put together to go out and find meth labs so that we can clean up the drug problems here in Lake County. But let me just tell you something about the budget. First of all, we cut the fat out of that budget a long time ago. Our budget, 86% of it is to pay for deputy sheriffs and employees. You can't cut 10% out of it without laying off deputy sheriffs. It's the bottom line. Because, we only have about $5 million, $6 million that are actually operating costs. Let me tell you, you still got to feed prisoners. You still have to put gas in cars. So I would tell you that's going to take $2 million of that right off the bat. We have a lean budget. So, when you talk about cutting the budget 10% and give deputies raises, you're not going to get that by selling a vehicle. Thank you.
We'll now have our closing comments from our candidates, and our first closing comments will be from Sheriff Porters.
Well, again, me and this microphone is no problem. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to come down and speak to you. If you live here in South Lake County and you haven't had the opportunity to visit our South Lake District office, please do. It's a full service facility. If you need fingerprints or if you need records from the sheriff's office, they are there every day to help you. We have a jail in the back if you want to go that way too. But we do put the prisoners in, and we do that so that we can help our local city police departments as well, so that they are not down in their city by having to drive to Tavares to drop off prisoners. It's really simple for me. I'm honored to serve you. This is something that I take seriously. I know it's a great responsibility. I'm honored to serve and represent great men and women that do a tremendous job, that care about you. And they care about this county. Their families live here, their kids go to school here, their parents are here. So they care about the quality of service also. And I'm just honored to serve. I'm honored to serve you, and I would ask that you, for your support on August 14th. Thank you.
I explained to you earlier that I want to make a difference in this community. I live a purpose-driven life. I believe that God put me here to serve as a deputy sheriff. I believe that I started out and was intended to work a dog for 16 years, and that God had a better plan for me and told me that if I don't start taking promotional tests and climbing the ladder, I won't be able to change the way that we do things in the agency that I worked in. I've done that. I became a captain. I've made changes in my community. More importantly, I've seen how to feed a community. I've helped serve in a community, as you've seen my family do for the last 33 years. If you drive down to the boat ramp down at Lake Mineola, you'll see a Victorian home that sits on the right-hand side that used to sit right next to City Hall. I bought that house, and as I started taking it apart on the inside, my son and I realized that there could be some historical importance to it. That was the first mayor of Claremont that donated 10 parcels of land so that the city of Claremont could be founded. That house is there because I spent money out of my pocket to put it there because I wanted to leave a legacy to my children and my grandchildren one day. I have a purpose to be your sheriff, and it's not just to enforce laws. I've already told you, nominated one of the top cops in this country. I know how to do my job. I know law enforcement inside and out. I just finished the Casey Anthony trial, which I was in charge of for 2 years at the Orange County Courthouse. They put me there for a reason, so we wouldn't have a mistrial and taxpayers have to pay for it all over again. You see that trial went smoothly. I have a reason that I want to be your sheriff, and that's to serve this community. You will see me doing events throughout the year out of my own pocket to give back to this community. I want to use the title of sheriff to help a community like no sheriff you have ever seen before. And if you don't think that I'm serious about that, I know there's a lot of Tea Party folks here today who keep up with Sheriff Richard Mack. How many of you know Richard Mack? Y'all have talked so much about Richard Mack, I had to read about the man, find out about the man. I called him on the phone, we had a lengthy conversation. He went to our website, he read about my plan for Lake County, and he is now willing to come to Lake County and speak on my behalf because he believes that I will be the best thing that has happened in Lake County in a long time. Thank you for being here today, thank you for your time, and I'm sorry if I sound passionate, but I am passionate about serving you, and I'm passionate about law enforcement. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our sheriff.